In this video, Dr. Jordan Peterson explains why categorization could be dangerous and how depressed people think.
And this, I flipped this upside down here because I've been very interested in how people get traumatized, and it's easier to think of trauma when you flip the thing, because once you develop the higher order abstractions cortically, you say, well, I'm a good person, let's say, then that's sort of the fact that you're a good person, or what constitutes good, starts to become a box, the box, within which all the things that are associated with it are put. It's one of the dangers of abstraction, right? And categorization, because if you couldn't think of yourself as a good or bad person, let's say you didn't have that capacity for that level of abstraction, which is like a binary abstraction, right? Good is, 1 and bad is 0. So it's a really simple abstraction. And so if you do something that a good person wouldn't do, well, clearly you don't fit into the 1 category because a good person wouldn't do that, so maybe you fit into the 0 category. And that capacity for abstraction is also precisely the sort of thing that allows human beings to undermine themselves with thought. Because once you have that capacity for abstraction, you can make these ridiculous overgeneralizations. In fact, they're really simple. I'm not a good person, I'm a horrible person. It's like that's how someone who's really depressed thinks whenever anything goes wrong. And so it's the danger, the powerful danger of abstraction is that you can make a terrible mistake in overgeneralization. This is partly because, well, let's say, I don't know, you're out with your girlfriend and you flirt with someone else. So what does that say about your character? Well, she might think that puts you in the 0 category, like now, right? You're not a good person. It's like, well, it's complicated. Is that true? Do you belong in that 0 category? She might treat you like that for a week or two. I mean, should you be taking yourself apart completely because you've made that error? Or should you seek farther down the chain of abstractions for a more specific mistake? Or should she help you do that? It's like, well, you're not a complete 0, you're more like a, 0.1. She could help you figure out exactly where in your personality hierarchy you have this fault, assuming that it's a fault. Maybe it's an indication that the relationship is over. Who knows? So, anyways, I wanted to show you that because then you can develop a sense of how this hierarchical system can also lead to cataclysmic overgeneralization. And that's associated with lots of different mental illnesses, especially depression. Because depressed people generally go from a small mistake, well, a mistake, hard to parameterize, right to the highest level of abstraction. Say, well, I've made error A, therefore I'm useless, or therefore I'm bad. It's not good. It's too undifferentiated.